Arthur Moats of the Arthur Moats Experience talked about a Pro Bowl edge rusher for the Pittsburgh Steelers to add as not just like an every down guy, but just as a passing situation specialist. Yannick Ngakoue, former Indianapolis Colts, I believe last year,
Yeah,
Raider,
Jaguars, I'm pretty sure.
Jaguars. I think he was drafted by the Jaguars way back in the day. He's only 28 years old. He's still a free agent. He's coming off of, I want to say, back-to-back 8.5 sack season. He's got 19.5 sacks since 2021. And he has never fallen short of an 8-sack season in his entire career. So clearly able to rush the passer. Now, Moats makes it very clear, quote, when you bring in a Yannick who's a dope pass rusher in his own, but to me, he is still more of a pass rush specialist than a true starter guy. With Yannick, you're going to talk about depth. Almost treat Yannick like a slot corner. I only bring you in when it is an obvious pass situation and I need a fastball. I need a dude who could go out there and win consistently and cook. So it wouldn't be a Marcus Golden. It wouldn't be an every down guy. It would just be a third and long situation. You want to have 3 outside linebackers out there if possible. That type of situation for the Steelers. Do you think it makes any sense to add a 28-year-old pass rusher to a group that pretty much already has solidified 3 and possibly a 4th in Nick Herbig?
I don't really think so. If they could sign him for way under what I'm sure his market value is going to be, yeah, great. But I'm not going to pay upwards of. I mean, he made $13 million last year. I don't know if he's still unsigned. He's probably not going to command much more than 10, if 10, I would imagine, on whatever new deal he gets. But I'm not paying upwards of $8 million for a pass rush specialist, especially when, like you said, they've got 3, possibly 4 outside linebackers set for the coming year. Like, I feel really comfortable with that group, and I don't know why you would need to add depth for that much money. Because the other thing is, why would Ngakoue sign with the Steelers for less than his market value? Like, he might think they're a winner, but there are plenty of winners, I feel like, who will pay him even more than that.
Yep, I 100% agree. His market value on Spotrac is 4 years, $59.2 million, a little under $15 million a year, $14.8 million a year. That is way out of the price range of that's a number that the Steelers are going to consider paying Alex Highsmith. That's what they're looking at right now. I could see if he was, an older veteran and he was over the age of 30 and you were signing him to $3 to $5 million to come in here and be a 4th and, just have like a really elite group. I could see that one, but overall to bring in a 28-year-old who doesn't see a very long-term future with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers probably don't see a long-term future with him. That doesn't make a lot of sense. He doesn't get a really good opportunity to kind of showcase himself and earn a bigger contract. Last year, he's coming off a pretty good season. It's just very hard to say that this guy should go out and, just take any contract that's handed to him, and the Steelers would even consider going out and making a deal for somebody, because chances are if you go out and you offer Ngakoue, $5 million or even $8 million for 1 year and say, come play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's going to be a little upset at that offer. He's going to be like, that's a little disrespectful for what I've done and who I am and the player that I could still be out on a field. I just don't think it would work out. On top of that, I think Moats' thing was he's still on the market, so there's got to be a reason at some point your value is going to drop. I don't think that's the case. I think there's still some very big name edge rushers on the market. You can make a lot of things work. I think that later in the summer, maybe at the end of training camp, once teams start to realize holy crap, like the Steelers last year, the Steelers were walking around last year with Derek Wolfe as their number 3 edge rusher. And we were talking about Delonte Scott coming in here and possibly earning a spot as the 4th. That was the big, oh gosh, it's got to happen. Or that's what's going to happen. There will be teams in that same situation that are we desperately need an edge rusher. We'll go get him because he's young and he's still a star and he's got value. Or they'll have a starter who goes down. There's just a million ways that it could work out for him. None of them include the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't believe.
Yeah, I don't either. I feel like they're also, if you're going to spend some more money, like they're on a bigger ish name free agent, like go get a linebacker or something.
Yep.
I know there aren't many names left, but if you're going to try to make an addition to this team and make it a splash, you've got more pressing areas of need, I feel like.
Yeah. Then an edge rusher, especially if Herbig's look good in OTAs and minicamp, and I get it, it's OTAs and minicamp, but he's looked good. Golden's going to be their number 3, and they feel good about that one. There's no room for him. There's just no point to add another guy. And I get where Moats is coming from, but just don't agree with that one.